Hebrews, Hebrews. This is Prophets of Awakening. This is our Women's Advanced Bible Study, 20th of February, 2025. Okay, we'll be back in the Book of Jubilees. I'll be reading chapters 29, 30, and 31. Okay, you can go to our YouTube channel, the Prophets of Awakening. Check out our videos. We have over 1,000 or so videos that you can look at and examine, and get the meat out of these videos. They'll lead you to the truth of the Holy Scriptures. And if you like what you're hearing and receiving, I'm asking you to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. It'll be greatly appreciated. Okay. I know that this is our Women's Advanced Bible Study. I miscued on the intro, so you gotta excuse me on that. Okay. We're gonna do our normal, which is a moment of silence, prayer, Psalms. We have some women's help. Then we go into our current events. We have some need to know information. Then we open it up for some Q&A and dialogue. Then we go into our topic for discussion. I'll be reading out of the Book of Jubilees, chapters 29, 30, and 31. It's pertaining to Jacob and his dealings with when he got into the land of Canaan, and what happened after he received the blessing from his father Isaac. Okay, we'll deal with that. Got some information that's tied to that. Okay, and we'll pick a scripture and break that down. Then we'll close out. Anybody want to pick that scripture now, or what they want to do? You want to wait? Or
Joyce
somebody want?
Joyce will be reading it at the end of the class.
Thank you.
Okay.
Yes, sir.
So with that being said, this moment of silence is for the Lord of hosts. All of these doing to bring about our prophesied deliverance in these last days. Okay. Oh Lord, we come before thee, thanking you for your mercy and your great power. We appreciate you, oh Lord, for your patience and your guidance in these last days. Oh Lord, we thank you for awakening us to this great understanding of your truth. Oh Lord, we see your mighty hand in the world's affairs and how you are instructing your people's deliverance. And we trust and rely upon thee. And for this cause, we honor and respect you greatly. Turn not thy face from us at this hour, but allow us in our searching of you, O Lord, and to dwell with you. Peace be unto you. Okay, so somebody gonna read the Psalms?
Shalom. I'm going to be reading from Psalms 143, a prayer for guidance and deliverance, a song of David. Hear
Okay.
my prayer. Hear my prayer, O Lord. Give ear to my supplication in thy faithfulness. Answer me, and in thy righteousness. And enter not into judgment with thy servant, for in thy sight shall no man living be justified. For the enemy have persecuted my soul. He has smitten my life down to the ground. He hath made me to dwell in darkness as those that have been long dead. Therefore is my spirit overwhelmed within me. My heart within me is desolate. I remember the days of old. I meditate on all thy works. I muse on the works of thy hands. I stretch forth my hands unto thee. My soul thirstieth after thee as a thirsty land. Selah. Hear me speedily, O Lord. My spirit faileth. Hide not thy face from me, lest I be like unto them that go down into the pit. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust. Cause me to know the way wherein I should walk, for I lift up my soul unto thee. Deliver me, O Lord, from mine enemies. I flee unto thee to hide me. Teach me to do thy will, for thou art my God. Thy spirit is good. Lead me into the land of uprightness. Quicken me, O Lord, for thy name's sake, for thy righteousness' sake, bringing my soul out of trouble. And of thy mercy cut off mine enemies and destroy all of them that afflict my soul, for I am thy servant. That's Psalms 143, a prayer for guidance and deliverance.
Okay, you got any feedback?
I chose this song because primarily because of all the things that we are going through and what I'm going through personally. And I felt like this was a song uh, reaching out, asking for guidance and patience as well as deliverance with all the things that we're all going through. That's one of the reasons why I chose this.
Okay. Anybody else have any comments on the Psalms 143? Okay, verse 10 was what stuck out to 8. It stuck out to me. It says, "Cause me to hear thy David's talking. Cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust." So he's saying, cause him to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust. So what do you mean by cause him to hear his loving kindness in the morning? And keep in mind that it's that they say the third hour. That's when those angels are out and about. That's right before day. You go back to what happened with Jacob. It was when the daybreak started coming. The angel told Jacob to release him for daybreak. So when you look at that, I don't know if anybody has experienced that or not, but have you been anywhere when the daylight is coming in, maybe on your back porch or something? And from me listening to that, looking at that, it's that it's that you can tell that it's the creator, that the world has a creator at that time in the morning when you just can, the birds and just that peace, that you get. Anybody ever experienced that?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And so that
Yes.
stuck out when he said, "For cause me to hear thy loving kindness in the morning, for in thee do I trust." Okay, so yeah. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay, we're gonna go to our women's health moment.
Yes, sir. Shalom, everyone. Please know that the information that is shared is intended for general, informational, and educational purposes only and is not medical advice or recommended treatment. Tonight's discussion is on the benefits of eating the rainbow. Did you know that adding color to your meals will help you live a longer, healthier life? Colorful fruits and vegetables can paint a beautiful picture of health because they contain phytonutrients, compounds that give plants their rich colors and distinctive taste and aroma. While eating more fruits and vegetables is always a good idea, focusing on eating a variety of colors will increase your intake of different nutrients to benefit various areas of your health. Red food like tomatoes, strawberries, beets, red bell peppers, and pomegranates are good for healthy heart, skin protection, and cell renewal and can help prevent some cancers. Orange and yellow foods like carrots, bell peppers, pumpkins, peaches, and sweet potatoes are good for eye health, healthy heart, immune function, lower cholesterol, and healthy joints and skin. Green foods like spinach, broccoli, green apples, pears, and kale are good for digestion and support eyesight and healthy bones. Moreover, incorporating green foods into your meals can improve your overall nutrition, providing a wide range of health benefits beyond just eyesight and bones. Purple and blue foods like plums, eggplants, grapes, blueberries, and blackberries are good for brain health, urinary function, and a healthy heart function. White and brown foods like mushrooms, cauliflower, onions, and brown pears are good for a healthy colon, immune support, healthy heart function, and lower cholesterol. To eat the rainbow, be sure to eat a variety of different colored fruits and vegetables throughout your day. Most colorful fruits and veggies have anti-inflammatory and antioxidant effects that may benefit different aspects of your health. I will be reading from the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verses 12 through 15. God's covenant with Noah. Verse 12, and God said, this is the token of the covenant which I make between me and you and every living creature that is with you for perpetual generations. I do set my bow in the cloud, and it shall be for a token of a covenant between me and the earth. Verse 14, and it shall come to pass when I bring a cloud over the earth that the bow shall be seen in the cloud. And I will remember my covenant, which is between me and you and every living creature of all flesh. And the waters shall no more become a flood to destroy all flesh. Tonight's discussion was on the benefits of eating the rainbow, and I read from the book of Genesis, chapter 9, verses 12 through 15. God's covenant with Noah. Shalom, everyone.
Okay, appreciate that information. Anybody have any comments on that? Okay, we'll go to our current events and we'll play it and break them down.
Welcome and a really warm, hearty welcome to this first foreign ministers meeting under South Africa's G20 presidency. You have now arrived finally, and you may not believe this, to the most beautiful country ever to be made in the world. So welcome. It is significant that the G20 Leaders Summit later this year will be convened for the first time on African soil. This in many ways highlights the growing importance of the African continent in global economic, political, and environmental discussions that are ensuing around the world. Africa is home to some of the world's fastest growing economies, and in many ways faces unique challenges such as the impact of climate change, developmental needs that it has, and the effects of global trade dynamics. This summit's location underscores the need for African voices to be heard on critical global issues like sustainable development, the digital economy, and the shift towards the green energy. It is a great opportunity too to promote greater collaboration between African nations and the rest of the world. But it is also a great opportunity for all of us as members of the G20 and invited countries to engage in serious dialogue. Geopolitical tensions and rising intolerance, conflict and war, climate change, pandemics, and energy and food insecurity do threaten an already fragile global coexistence. These challenges are interconnected. They require responses that are inclusive and responses that should be well coordinated through various forums such as the G20. Yet there is a lack of consensus amongst major powers, including in the G20, on how to respond to these issues of global significance. Extreme poverty and growing inequality within and among nations weigh heavily on the conscience of the world. We are just 5 years away from 2030, the deadline
Excuse me.
to ensure debt sustainability for low-income countries. Developing economies are currently experiencing the highest borrowing costs in nearly 2 decades. The Secretary General of the United Nations says that poor countries pay up to 8 times more than your more developed economies when it comes to servicing their debt. Debt payments are essentially crowding out vital domestic expenditure and diverting critical resources away from those countries. A report of the United Nations Secretary General's panel on critical energy transition minerals. Now, long before our freedom was won, South Africa's founding father, Nelson Mandela, spoke of a society in which all persons live together in harmony and with equal opportunities. This universal aspiration is reflected in the UN Charter. As a premier forum for international economic cooperation, the G20 needs to play a leading role in the global agenda for people, planet, and prosperity.
Okay, so this G20, I don't know if anybody know anything about it, but it's the first time ever they hosted in Africa, in South Africa. So this is another one of those signs to see that Africa is rising, right? Like you said, the dynamics is changing. Okay. We also mentioned 2030. Like I was saying, they already predicting that most of the world population is going to be migrated to Africa by around that time, between there and 2035, 2040. Any comments?
No, sir.
Anybody else got any comments? Okay.
Shalom, I have a quick question, not so much of a comment, but when you say most of the world, are you talking about those returning home or just everybody, like from all the other corners of the earth?
All different races. That's what they're predicting. There's going to be, and like I said, it ain't that they're predicting it, they already know. Because we
But
already see. What's that?
What is that based on though? Is that biblical?
Yeah, it's biblical. So what we already see what they're doing. They bringing up they bringing all this drama from these different places. We see right now they are already in the process of relocating the Gazans in Gaza. Then we saw with all of the people that was shuffled around with the Ukraine war. So they shuffling everybody around intentionally. They behind it. Even with we know we have to leave. So it's a reshuffling of the populace of the world, and they a part of it, but they only doing what the Creator already prophesied gonna happen. And another thing you have to look at that this part of the world didn't exist. There wasn't no major player back during the time of biblical times. So in order for to go back to where we was at, everybody got to go back to the east. The West wasn't no major player in biblical times. So most of the people over here migrated over here. They just got to migrate back.
So I guess what I don't understand is when you say that 90% is going to be in Africa, or they predict that, and it's going to be all races and creeds that are going to be there. Is there concern that they're going to try to take over?
Oh yeah, they're gonna cause who they are, but that's not part of prophecy. We're going back in order for him to reset everything the way that it was, for us to put us back in our homeland. And then you have to look at. He says that once Israel's back in their homeland and they're dwelling safely, right? He says in Zechariah, the people that don't come up when he find the world gonna find out who the God Israel is, and once they do, Israel back in their land, the remnant that's left that survived the day of the Lord, said they're gonna come up to Jerusalem every year. like they did in the past. They're gonna come to Jerusalem every year, and the ones that don't, he's gonna cause a drought in the land where they at. So when you understand it, like I was saying before, they're gonna come all the way from America. No, they're gonna come from where they are. He done brought all them back to their original lands. So when the time for them, the ones that survived, come to Jerusalem, they got it's walking distance. It's actually within distance to walk there like they did before. This place gonna get
Shalom.
judged. The West gonna get judged.
Yeah.
Okay. Somebody got
Shalom.
something?
Yes, sir. When he was mentioning about paying, that the poor pays the most and things like he's speaking on just where he's at in South Africa. I mean, they still, um, when they cut off the aid to them of not having food from the America, Trump stopped the aid to Africa. What part of Africa is that aid going to? Um, where Tory is at, or all parts of Africa, or just one certain part of Africa with when he's saying it, when they have to pay for things.
Yeah, Trump to cut off all aid to Africa, U.S.
Okay,
aid to Africa.
so that every part of Africa was receiving aid, or just certain parts of Africa receiving aid. So like,
All of them,
um, so mm,
all Africa
and
receiving aid. That's why you hear the people that's
so that
speaking
means
up,
that.
like people like Tory and all them that's speaking up. They saying they don't want the aid no more because they're not beggars. So they always had a problem with it, but they wasn't in a position to do anything. Now they're in a position to do something about it. They don't want the aid because
But
it's a way of looking down on them.
so this gentleman is talking as if he wants. He's saying that they're doing so much to them. Does it seem like he wants the aid to be there with it on his
No, that's
area?
not. No. Well, this guy right here is Rumor Foster. That's the guy that's part of BRICS. I played a video the other day where he told Trump to leave him alone.
But they're receiving things from China, correct? And
China and
Russia.
Russia.
Help.
That's
Okay.
why they don't want to deal with America no more. America have stipulations on what they do, but China and Russia is treating them like equal partners, and
Okay.
that's
Uh,
where this rise is coming from. Russia and
yes,
China to
sir.
show them.
Okay. Uh, I would like to say this part, if I'm correct or not. But being that China has already put so much material money into doing things they say for them, and not asking for that money back, such as right now. Is that kind of a way of putting them in more debt to them, basically? And as Russia's doing, sending people in, it's like also getting a debt that they may not can pay back to them,
Well,
just to be a part of their situation that they have
we in the
going
end
on
times.
here.
We in the end times,
Yes,
and
sir. But
we saw.
also,
I mentioned Cyrus, Artaxerxes, and Darius. Most High put it on their mind to give them what they needed because they participated. He used them to participate in his what he had spoken. So it was no different than what we're looking at now. China and Russia is being uh, coerced to do what they're doing. We're in the end time. Just like he hardened the heart of the Pharaoh, he's hardened the heart of Americans for them to be where they need to be at when he judging. So it's like he said, he changed not. There's a reason that America don't want to deal with us. He's hardening their heart, same way he did the Egyptians, and the same way he did with Cyrus. Cyrus says, the Lord God of Israel put it on my mind to build him a house in Jerusalem. Here go everything you need. So we're looking at the same thing transpiring now.
So when he mentioned 2030, you think that's around that time that they're going to be transported over there? Or that's
What,
just saying
um,
in the next 5 years?
we see that it's fast approaching. So we know we're looking at prophecy unfold. The people that's awakened to the truth, we can see that it's unfolding. The time frame, exact time frame, don't know, but we see where we at. He says he gave us signs to look for. We see him. We see the Israelite rising. He said he's gonna wake them up, pour his spirit out on them in the last days. We see that. Then he said, search the scriptures in the last days and find me. That's where we at. We in the last days and we searching scriptures out, which is the Tanakh, and we done found it. So we in that vicinity. It's not, you can't put a exact time on it or date, but we see that we there. We in the midst of the end time. Okay, anybody else? Any comments on that? Okay, let me play some more of this. This is here's the next video.
So America is trying to end the Ukraine war, but it seems to be stirring
So like I said before, these people are intentionally doing all this because they too see the end time. They got the books. They got all our information.
new tensions in the East. The Trump administration has made a bold move on Taiwan. It has signaled.
So everybody and their mama know that China is in this. Is their objective is to bring Taiwan back under their fold, which is prophecy. China was at one time. China and Taiwan was all one. They're the same people. Now here comes this big nut bucket right here. He wants to interfere with that, knowing it's going to bring drama.
Support for an independent Taiwan. The US State Department has updated its website. It has published a new fact sheet on Taiwan. Now, first things first, what is a fact sheet? Think of it as a background note, a document that provides an overview of a country from the American perspective. And this story is about the American fact sheet on Taiwan. The earlier versions of it had a phrase, "We do not support Taiwan independence." That's what it said. The US State Department fact sheet. We do not support Taiwan independence. But now this specific line has been removed, and that is quite significant. Remember, the US policy on Taiwan has always been ambiguous. Their law says America must defend Taiwan if China attacks the island. But Washington has never made it clear whether and how this will be implemented, whether they would send American troops to defend Taiwan or use other means like diplomatic or economic means. Like I said, it is ambiguous. Officially, the US supports the One China policy, which is also China's official line, an excuse to target.
The One China policy. It's called they all one. They've been separated. So, like I said before, you got all the drama going on with Russia and Ukraine because they won. They are all the same people. And then you got the drama going on in Israel. But now you're stirring up this other drama. Okay.
Target Taiwan. The One China policy views Taiwan as part of China. It basically says there is only one China and Taiwan is a part of it. That is the policy. And the new State Department fact sheet still mentions one China. But it also talks about Taiwan's independence and defense. The US also sells arms to Taiwan. And now the Trump administration is stepping up support. It is shifting the US position on some fronts, showing more support to Taiwan and ending some of the ambiguity. The US is expanding military cooperation. It has added a new reference to the State Department fact sheet. It talks about what it calls a Pentagon project. The Pentagon, as you would know, is the US Defense Ministry. It is working on a semiconductor development project. And Taiwan is supporting this initiative. And that's what the fact sheet says, that Taiwan is cooperating with the United States on this. Washington is also expanding diplomatic support. It wants to support Taipei's membership to international organizations. That's something that China is strongly opposed to. Remember, this had become a big issue during the early days of the pandemic. In 2020, there were calls for Taiwan to be included in the WHO, the World Health Organization. Taiwan was among the first to sound an alarm about the outbreak in Wuhan, but Beijing blocked Taiwan's participation. It doesn't want Taiwan to have an independent seat at international forums. Now, America has set the stage for a showdown. It has pledged diplomatic support. It wants to help Taipei get a seat at the diplomatic high table. The US hasn't spelled out the specifics, but Taipei has welcomed these broader shifts in American policy. Of course, China won't like any of it. Xi Jinping sees Taiwan as a quote unquote inseparable part of China. He calls the island a breakaway province, one that will eventually be reunited with the mainland. So expect a strong pushback from Beijing.
The revision of the fact sheet on U.S. Taiwan relations by the U.S. State Department, which seriously regressed its position on Taiwan related issues, seriously violated the One China principle and the three Sino U.S. joint communiques, seriously violated international law and basic norms of international relations, and sent a serious wrong signal to the Taiwan independence separatist forces. This is another example of the U.S. side's stubborn adherence to the wrong policy of using Taiwan to contain China.
At a time when tensions are growing in the Taiwan Strait, American and Canadian ships have been spotted near the island. Last week, the US Navy sailed through the strait. Yesterday, a Canadian warship took the same route. China was quick to condemn Canada. It also dispatched 24 aircraft. They conducted patrols around Taiwan. This kind of military adventurism from the PLA has become routine. Chinese warships and aircraft are spotted near Taiwan almost every day, and now Donald Trump has made new moves, which are sure to invite Chinese reactions, most likely in the form of more military pressure on Taipei. And while strong diplomatic backing for Taiwan is important, it must be matched with greater military preparedness and deterrence on the ground. We do hope that Taipei is ready for the challenge ahead.
Okay, any comments on that? Okay, yeah, like I said before, you can see that all this stuff is intentional. And this is the reason why they're saying that the population gonna be, because they stirring up everybody. They stirring up everywhere where they know conflict at or hatred or is a rift. They going there. They're stirring everybody all up intentionally. And it's all because this place is collapsing. Okay, no comments.
Shalom. They're not thinking about the people in Taiwan. They're just thinking about the land. They're killing the people, and they want to make this war. They brought in so many ships and aircraft. Uh, United States put their ships in front of their the China ships that came in, those Navy ships. But they're not thinking of the people on that island, because basically it's a big island between China and Taiwan. It's a big old area of water there, and they want it back. They say, correct?
Who wanted back?
China wants Taiwan.
Oh yeah, right. They gonna get it back.
And
America already know that. But like I
by
said,
killing the
they
people
stand
on
the
there,
drama. What's that?
by injuring or unaliving the people on Taiwan, because they know they have. If they start shooting missiles and what have you, they're going to be unaliving those people on Taiwan's island.
Look what's happening in Gaza. Look what's happening in Ukraine. It shouldn't be a
But they
surprise.
don't have anything. Yeah, I know about Ukraine because of the minerals and things on their soil, with Russia wanting that, and in all the other places. But I don't know what Taiwan has for them. War for the
Shalom.
United States.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Okay.
So one of the reasons why I know the most recent issue is Taiwan was one of the primary producers of those chips that go in the cell
Exactly.
phones and all these other things. And so if China acquires Taiwan back, among other things, they will have a corner market on that. That's why America passed that law a year or two ago to start making those chips at home. when that before the conflict started getting where it is now, they were dependent on Taiwan to make these things for the world. And now,
Exactly.
and so it's about control. I mean, the people are one thing, but it's those people are not concerned on either side. It's not they're not
Right.
as much concerned about the people as they are the resources that they can provide and having one up on the other.
Right.
That's my
China
take.
and Russia. And so we in a, what a lot of people don't understand about that situation is we are already in the war. The war already started. That this part of it. They
Yep.
know that China know if they get they bring Taiwan back in, they know the implications of those chips, and America knows. So
Yep.
we already at war now. Just ain't no missiles being fired, but they at war. Even with trying to bring the dollar down.
Yep.
Those are all war tactics.
Yep.
And they know America is already wounded and weakened because of the debt. So that's all this stuff you see them doing is intentional. And
Yep.
America is like a wounded bear trying to stay afloat. And China steady pulling all the resources out from under them to bring them all
Yep.
the way down.
Shalom. Shalom. I would also say that it's just a linchpin that's going to unite the second part of all this. Like
Right,
Brother Leonard said, that there's a lot of um, strategic things that are taking place in order to kind of keep the provocation going. But it's going to be a linchpin that's going to bring
right,
everybody and everything into it. Because if you look at it from 25,000 feet, they're going around basically bullying everybody in the rest of the world. If you heard what they said when JD Vance went over to Europe, talking
right,
about y'all don't know what democracy is,
right.
and they all looking at him like he crazy. Either they
Exactly.
think that they are their ancestors and they're gonna be able to just go wherever they want to go and do what they want to do like they yesteryear, or these
Right,
people are fools.
right. That's what they are. And it's like I said, when he sent um Moses to talk to the Pharaoh, he told him before he went, this he gonna get mad. His heart gonna harden. He ain't gonna be trying to hear what you have to say. Same thing now. These folks, they're not tuned in to righteousness or to what's right. They told. Like I said, if they had any sense, after all that you've gotten out of the Most High people, you should freely let them go. You ought to be trying to find some kind of way to let them go. But they want to, they come up with this whole big plan of 2025 to try to oppress them or send them back to where what they impose what they did on them before, and that's their downfall.
Yeah.
They're too ignorant to even see that.
Shalom. I heard a video today where this guy was just freely talking about, that they it's not to make America great again, which we already knew that. He's saying that they should just be okay with saying they want to make America white again. And like I said, I just feel like people who talk like that, these people, they don't know they are their ancestors. Everything that they're
Right,
doing,
right,
like claiming the Gulf of Mexico and saying it's America, and saying we're gonna buy the canal back when it wasn't even for sale. I mean, that's what they did before. They're
exactly,
becoming more and more who they were, and whether
exactly,
they realize it or not.
right. And it's because of before they didn't have no world before they got these lands they got and got control of Africa. They ain't had nothing. So they see themselves retracting back to where they was at. So now you see finding their real colors out, who they really are. And it's all written down in the scriptures. The warlike, like I said, who was warlike? Japhet. Ain't no way you know a son. It's all coming out. Okay. So like when they came to Africa, we didn't come where they was at. They came to where we was at and taking our stuff and killing us. Same way they came here to America with the natives. People wasn't bothering them; they came to them. So you go back to Cain. You're gonna be a vagabond and a wanderer. You're gonna go from one place to the next, taking people's stuff because I didn't took your ability to deal with the land away from you. So now you got to go all around the world taking people's stuff. But the Creator said that it was only gonna last for a time. He put a time limit on it, and that's where we at. Okay. Anybody else got anything on that? We got some need to know information right here. We're gonna play this and then get some feedback. I thought it was pretty interesting.
If you haven't already heard, the 92% of black women that voted for Kamala Harris, they're on vacation, they're taking a break, they're gonna watch the world burn, right? Now, I want y'all to watch this short video of a sister who is sitting on a grassy hill watching all of the mayhem unfold. Check it out. So as you saw there, and the caption says, the 92% is taking a well-needed break or vacation or whatever it is. And she's watching the migrants protest. Of course, you guys know that President Donald Trump said once he got into office, he was going to go forward with his mass deportation plan, and he has. So, of course, we see a lot of people out there protesting because their mamas, their daddies, their grandmas, their grandpas, and everybody else are getting deported, right? And so they're taking to the streets with their flag saying, it's not right. We're pushing back. And so the sister is sitting there like, ordinarily, I guess we would be helping you. But since you guys didn't show up for Kamala, decided to show up for Trump, we're just going to sit here and be pretty and watch it all unfold. And I'm like, you know what? There's two things here. I'm glad, again, that the 92% is taking a break from helping everybody else. But I hope that while they're taking a break, they're thinking about helping their own community, right? Because they're partially responsible for the migration situation being the way it is. And some of y'all probably saying, well, how so, Demetra? Because don't the black women that votes for the Democrats say they're the backbone of the Democratic Party? And the Democrats say they're the backbone of the Democratic Party. If it wasn't for black women, we wouldn't be where we are, right? So I think we got to concede that a little bit. So because you're the backbone of the Democratic Party, you allowed Kamala and Biden, when they were in office, to open up those borders and let everybody else in, tell them again while they were telling your people no. So I'm glad that you're sitting down and you're not helping anybody else. But yeah, come help your people, because remember, they told no. They told your people, no, I'm not going to do something that just benefits black people now. Right? And that benefit was a check. She being Kamala Harris asked about reparations. She's like, no. But y'all still went 92% and voted for her, even though she told you no, and she was going to continue doing what you were sitting there watching them protest against. She was going to continue on with mass migration coming into America, as your community were going to continually being the most underserved. So hopefully, while you're resting and getting a break from it all, you're organizing and saying, how can we uplift the black community? And I know a lot of y'all are still mad at black men, but for what? They voted right behind y'all for the most for Kamala. So I don't know why you're mad at black men, but hopefully y'all thinking about getting together with black men and making it do what it do. All the other immigrants, they gonna be all right. I promise you. But you sit.
Okay. Any comments on that?
I'm not sure, Simone. I don't necessarily agree with what she's saying, but
Okay.
what I do notice is that there seems to be, I'm gonna say, a spirit on the collective
Okay.
about being still and refocusing to the degree what she said about trying to do for ourselves. Like, Target had all these creators and these people, entrepreneurs, giving them an opportunity at a national market, and then now they're taking it all away, and so now they're regrouping and they're doing those things for themselves. So I'm definitely seeing that, but from the spiritual standpoint, I feel like there is a collective spirit of calm on us. While we see everything that's going on, we're not jumping to join the fray. And I think that that's good for the moment, because I feel like that what I said earlier about there being a linchpin, I feel like, and I could be totally wrong, but I feel like they want us to come out in the street in mass. They want to see a repeat of 2020. So we have a different president, though, who will this time do martial law. They want to come out and attack the people and do all this. They're not on their watch kind of mindset. And so I for the moment appreciate the collective staying calm and refocusing on our community because people are doing that. But the sarcasm, she could have kept that. But I do feel like that's what we're doing. And there's a reason from a spiritual standpoint that it is that way right now.
Okay. Anybody else got any comments on that? Okay. Yeah. So yeah. It's a calm on Israelites. I think it's Israelites. The people that have can see, their eyes are open. They can see that it's not. They fight, so they're not actually getting involved with it. It's those ones that tied to the government, Christians and all that think they have a right to do this and that and another, and they don't even the Creator, God of Israel, that what He's capable of doing and what they read about He done in the Tanakh. So those are people that's disconnected, that's thinking they have to make some kind of move. Okay. So with that being said, I'm opening it up for some Q&A. Anybody have any questions, comments about anything they want to bring out, talk about it?
Shalom, everyone. Yes, sir, Brother Leonard, I do. I was watching a few videos today, right? It just came up on my YouTube page. I wasn't searching this on Leviathan, right? And
Okay.
one of the videos I was watching was tying Leviathan to Argentina, right? And
Okay.
here lately in Argentina, they have been bringing up videos and speaking of the rivers turning red, right?
Mhm.
Um, I don't know much about Leviathan, but I did do some research and found out that it is in the book of Isaiah, the book of Job, the book of Psalms, and also in the book of Enoch.
Okay.
And in the book of Isaiah, it speaks of Leviathan being symbolic, right? But in the book of that was in the book of Isaiah, I'm sorry, but in the book of Enoch, it speaks of Leviathan as a female beast.
Okay.
So I just want to know, could you explain Leviathan a little bit?
Well, if you go to the book of Enoch, it says the Creator, uh, He made two monsters in the very beginning, one on land and one in the water. So so-called Sasquatch or Bigfoot is that creature that's a interdimensional being. That's the reason why they can't catch it. He's an interdimensional being, popped up here and there, in different places, and then in the water, Leviathan he's an interdimensional being, but he's in the water, and that's one of the reasons why they can't never pinpoint him because they interdimensional beings. But the thing about that is, you got a lot of people they try to make out that these people that's ignorant to the truth, but they want to say that they want to connect to Leviathan to an angel, and they want to connect him and say that he's Lucifer,
Yes, sir.
right? But I want to go to the scriptures. So when we if I'm not mistaken, it's Exodus. Let me find it right quick. Give me a minute. So we go to when they was in the wilderness, right? And he let me get it. Purify. So I don't know if it, yeah, quails. It's in chapter 16. So this when the Israelites were murmuring, meat. They wanted meat to eat, right? And this is one of those situations where I was saying that people they read one thing, but they don't have the whole story, so they don't see it. So 16 and 12, I have heard the murmuring of the children of Israel. Speak unto them, saying, at evening ye shall eat flesh, right? At evening ye shall eat flesh, and in the morning ye shall be filled with bread, and ye shall know that I am the Lord. And it came to pass that at the evening the quails came up and covered the camp. And in the morning, the day drew, the dew laid around about about the host. So that's the manna. He gave them quail meat, and he gave them angel food, manna. 14. And when the dew that was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness, there lay a small round thing, as small as a hoarfrost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said one to another, it is manna. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord hath given to you to eat. This is the thing which the Lord hath commanded. Gather it every man according to his eating, and omer every man according to the number of the persons. Take ye every man for them which are in his tent. And the children of Israel did so, and gathered some more and some less. And when they did meet it with an omer, he that gathered much had nothing over, and he that gathered little had no lack. They gathered every man according to his eating. So that's supernatural right there. Whatever they got, if it was too much, Most High reduced it. If it wasn't enough, he enhanced it. So 19, Moses said, let no man leave of it till the morning, notwithstanding that they hearken not to Moses. So see that? Notwithstanding, they hearken not unto Moses. But some of them left of it on to the morning, and it bred worms and stank. And Moses was wroth with them. And they gathered each morning, every man according to his eating. And when the sun waxed hot, it melted. And it came to pass that in the sixth day they gathered twice as much bread, 2 omers for one man, and all the rulers of the congregation came and told Moses, and he said unto them, this is that which the Lord hath said. Tomorrow is the rest of the holy Sabbath unto the Lord. Bake that which ye shall bake today, and see it that ye will see it, and that which remaineth over, lay up for you to be kept until the morning. And they laid it up till the morning, and Moses bade, and it did not stink, neither was there any worm therein. And Moses said, eat today, for today is the Sabbath unto the Lord. Today ye shall not find it in the fields. 6 days ye shall gather it, but on the seventh day, which is the Sabbath, in it there shall be none. So it's supernatural, like I said, just the Lord of hosts. I don't know no Negro today getting no bread from heaven. So this is supernatural. So it says, and it came to pass that he doing all this supernatural for them. Came to pass that there went out some of the people on the seventh day for to gather, and they found none. So see, they ain't listening. They ain't listening to Moses. They ain't listening to the Lord of hosts. And the Lord said unto Moses, how long refuse ye to keep my commandments and my laws? See, for that the Lord have given you the Sabbath. Therefore, he giveth you on the sixth day the bread of 2 days, to bind ye every man in his place, and let no man go out of his place on the seventh day. So the people rested on the seventh day, and the house of Israel called the name thereof manna, and it was like coriander seeds, white, and the taste of it was like wafers made with honey. See that? And Moses said, "This is the thing which the Lord had commanded, fill an armor of it to be kept for a generation, that they may see the bread wherewith I have fed you in the wilderness, and when I brought you up from the land of Egypt." And Moses said unto Aaron, "Take a pot and put an omer full of manna therein, and lay it up before the Lord to be kept for your generation." Right? Okay. Let me see. The place. Okay. And the Lord commanded Moses, so Aaron laid it up before the testimony to be kept. And the children of Israel did eat manna 40 days until they came to the land inhabited. They did eat manna until they came unto the borders of the land of Canaan. Now, an omer of it was the 10th part of an ephah. Okay, so let me see where I'm going. Keep going. Going somewhere. Might even pass it up. So, okay. Okay. Yeah, I'm trying to find where we fed them, we gave them the quail. Anybody know what it's at? In a minute since I dealt with this. Maybe I passed it up. Yeah, I done passed it up.
I remember the story, but I don't know where it is
Just
exactly.
Numbers 11.
Google Lord. Somebody can Google the Lord feed quails.
Okay.
Um, Numbers chapter 11.
Yeah, I was getting ready to go to Numbers. Numbers chapter 11. Okay, let me get that. Okay, Numbers chapter 11.
11 and 3 and 32 it says. And again in Psalms 105 and 40.
So, okay, yeah, chapter 11, verse 1. And when the people complained, it displeased the Lord, and the Lord heard it, and his anger was kindled, and the fire of the Lord burned among them and consumed them that were in the uttermost parts of the camp. And the people cried unto Moses, and when Moses prayed unto the Lord, the fire was quenched. And he called the name of the place Taberah, because of the fire of the Lord burned among them. And the mixed multitude that was among them fell lusting. And the children of Israel also wept again and said, "Who shall give us flesh to eat? We remember the flesh which we did eat in Egypt freely." Which I just read all that over there in Exodus. What he was doing was supernatural, right? And the melons. So now they complain. Melons, the leeks, and the onions, and the garlic. But now our soul is dried away. There's nothing at all besides this manna because of our eyes. And the manna was coloring the seed, and the color thereof was the color of that one, right? And the people went about and gathered it in the ground and ground it in meal, or beat it into mortar, and baked it in pans and made cakes of it. And the taste of it was as the taste of fresh oil. And when the dew fell upon the camp in the night, the manna fell upon it. And Moses heard the people weeping throughout their families, every man in the door of his tent. And the anger of the Lord was kindled greatly. And Moses was displeased. And Moses said unto the Lord, wherefore hast thou afflicted thy servants, and wherefore have I not found favor in thy sight, that thou layest the burden of all this people upon me? Have I conceived all the people? Have I begotten them, that thou shouldest say unto me, carry them in thy bosom, as a nursing father beareth the suckling child, unto the land which thou swear unto their fathers. So it says, whence should I have flesh to give unto all the people? For they weep unto me, saying, give us flesh that we may eat. I am not able to bear people alone, because it is too heavy for me. And if thou deal thus with me, kill me, I pray thee, out of thy hands, if I have favor in thy sight, and let me not see my wretchedness. And the Lord said unto Moses, gather unto me 70 men of the elders of Israel, whom thou knowest to be elders of the people, and the officers over them, and bring them unto the tabernacle of the congregation, that they may stand there with thee. And I will come down and talk with thee there, and I will take of the spirit which is upon thee, and I will put it upon them, and they shall bear the burden of the people with thee, that they may bear it not for thyself alone. And say thou unto the people, sanctify yourselves against tomorrow, and ye shall eat flesh, for ye have wept in the ears of the Lord, saying, who shall give us flesh to eat? For it was well with us in Egypt. Therefore the Lord will give us flesh, and we shall eat. And ye shall not eat 1 day, nor 2 days, nor 5 days, neither 10 days, nor 20 days, but even a whole month, until it comes out of your nostrils, and it be loathsome unto thee, because that ye have despised the Lord which is among you, and have wept before him, saying, why came we forth out of Egypt? And Moses said, the people among whom I am are 600,000 footmen, and thou hast said, I will give them flesh, that they may eat eat a whole month. Shall the flocks and the herd be slain for them to suffice them, or shall all the fish of the sea be gathered together for them to suffice them? And the Lord said unto Moses, is the Lord's hand waxed short? Thou shalt see now whether my word shall come to pass unto thee or not. And Moses went out and told the people the words of the Lord, and gathered the 70 men of the elders of the people, and set them round about the tabernacle. And the Lord came down in the cloud, spake unto him, took of the spirit that was upon him, and gave it unto the 70 elders. And it came to pass that when the spirit rested upon them, they prophesied and did not cease. But there remained 2 of the men in the camp. The name of one was Eldad, and the name of the other was Medad. And the spirit rested upon them, and they were of them that were written, but they went not out unto the tabernacle, and they prophesied in the camp. And see, here you go. And there ran a young man and told Moses and said, Elad and Medad do prophesy in the camp. And Joshua the son of Nun, the servant of Moses, one of his young men, angered and answered and said, my Lord Moses, forbid them. And Moses said unto him, enviest thou for my sake with God that all the Lord's people were prophets, and that the Lord would put his spirit upon them? And Moses got him into the camp, and he and the elders of Israel, and there went forth a wind. Here you go. And there went forth a wind from the Lord, and it brought quail from the sea. See that? Quails from the sea, and let them fall by the camp. And it was at that day's journey on this side, and it were a day's journey on the other side, round about the camp. And as it were 2 cubits high, that's how many quails it was, meat. 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth. Moses just asked him, right? Say, how you gonna feed all these people, right? He forgot what he done in Egypt, right? So here you go, 2 cubits high upon the face of the earth, and the people stood up and all that day, and all that night, and all the next day, and they gathered the quails that he had gathered. Let's let's gather 10 omers, and they spread them all abroad from themselves round about the camp. And while the flesh was yet between their teeth, ere it was chewed, and the wrath of the Lord was kindled against the people, and the Lord smote the people with a great plague, and he called the name of the place Kirab Hava, I can't say that name, because there they buried the people that lusted, and the people journeyed from Kibat Hava to Hazarah and about at Hazarah, right? So my point for reading all that was, you go back, he says that he and there went forth a wind from the Lord and brought the quails from the sea and let them fall on the camp. So guess where the quails came from? Leviathan.
Right, that's what I was going to say.
Okay.
He killed Leviathan. He killed Leviathan and fed them Leviathan. That's what killed him. So, like I was saying before, when you understand it, give me another verse from Psalms, because I think a verse, one of those Psalms. You said he was in
Hold on
Psalms,
1 second. Yep, let me go back to it.
because one of those
Uh,
verses let you know that it's Leviathan.
it says quails are
74 and
mentioned in
18.
Exodus. I got it says Exodus 16 and 13, Numbers 11 3 and 32, and again in Psalms 105 and 40.
Go read them. Somebody can
Uh,
take turns reading.
I'll read the Psalms 105 and 40. Let me get back to my book. If somebody could read the other one. Hold on. I had set my alarm. Give me a second. Psalms 105 and 40. Okay. Okay. 105. Okay, here it is. 105 and then 40 reads, and the people asked, and he brought quails and satisfied them with the bread of heaven. That's all it says there.
Okay, so what's the other one?
Somebody else said it was in another song. I got Exodus 16 and 13. I can go back to that too.
What did it say?
Let me go back to 16 and 13 Exodus. Okay, I'm in 13, 16. Okay, 16 and 13 reads, okay, 15 and 13 says, and it came to pass that even the quails came up and covered the camp, and in the morning the dew laid around about the host. And when the dew that laid was gone up, behold, upon the face of the wilderness there laid a small round thing, was as small as the hoar frost on the ground. And when the children of Israel saw it, they said to one another, is it manna? And for those, and for they was not what it was. And Moses said unto them, this is the bread which the Lord has given you to eat.
Okay, It's you said it's in. I think it's in Psalms. What's the other song? Verse of song in Psalm.
Somebody else said it. What I'm looking at just has that song,
Okay.
the one that I read. But
Are
I
you
can look
So
speaking
yeah,
in reference to Leviathan or the quails? Which I'm not.
they both they
Leviathan.
both they both together.
It's speaking
They
of
both come together.
Leviathan in Psalm 74.
Read that.
Let me get there, sir. Psalm 74 and let me find it. Hold on. Um 104, I'm sorry. 104. Sorry.
Okay.
104 20. 104 and 26. There go the ships. There is that Leviathan whom thou hast made to play therein. These wait all upon thee, that thou mayest give them their meat in due season. That thou givest them, they gather it. Thou openest thy hand, they are filled with good. 29. Are troubled. Thou away their breath, they die and return to their dust. Thou sendest forth thy spirit, they are created, and thou renewest the face of the earth.
So you
That's
go back to the
Psalms
first part of that.
104.
Go back to the first part of that. You can see he fed them. See what it says.
Mm-hmm.
He fed them with Leviathan. So that's what it says. He went into the sea, turned it, and then he brought it out as quail, but it's actually Leviathan.
Mm.
He fed them with Leviathan.
Shalom.
So we see right there, it ain't. We know it ain't. He ain't no angel.
Right. Verse
So,
29. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
so it takes you back to Enoch. It's a monster in the sea, and it's a monster on land.
Right.
So I'm in.
Shalom.
What you got?
Shalom. In Psalms 74, verse 14, it reads, You broke the head of Leviathan in pieces and gave him as food to the people inhabiting the wilderness. You broke open the foundation of the flood and dried. Okay, well, that's the one. 14. 74 and
Mm-hmm.
14 is saying that you broke the head of Leviathan in
Right. He
pieces
killed him.
and gave him as food to the people inhabiting the wilderness.
Right.
That's
Okay.
that
Right.
Yeah.
second one.
So that's you just connect the dots on that one. You can see that like I said, it's showing you that it's not no angel anyway. So anyway, you go to I got the book of Lamech. I don't know if anybody ever purchased it, but it's got the Leviathan all through that. So
Mm.
it says that Lamech Lamech was Lamech was dealing with the Leviathan, right? So it says Lamech and then this giant called Uval sang songs of fear to Leviathan. There go the ships in the sea, and there goes anyway. So what happened was Lamech is tied to the story when Cain got killed. I mean, Leviathan was. So what Lamech would do was clap his hands. And when he clapped his hands together, whoever he wanted Leviathan to kill, he would kill him. And he made it on accident. He clapped his hands together, and Leviathan killed Cain. So just something to think about. But like I said before, you can see from these different sources that it's definitely not no angel. It ain't Satan.
Right.
Okay,
Mm.
but he a sea monster. But like I said, Enoch says he's a sea monster in the ocean and created a supernatural beings. Like I was saying, that's one of the reasons why nobody never can deal with them. And like I said, Bigfoot on the land. They never can seem to contain him or pin him down nowhere. So yeah. That's does that give you any clarity?
It did. It did. Thank you.
Okay. So with that, I'm gonna go to
Shalom.
anybody else questions or comment?
Yes, sir. When she mentioned it was a she, is it a he or a she? She mentioned
She.
she. Yes.
It's a she. She, a female monster in the sea, and a male monster on the land.
Yes, sir.
That mentions it in the what I said, book of Enoch, chapter 60,
Right.
verse 15.
Well, what did it say?
Enoch
Yeah, you
chapter
got it right there.
60, verse 15. Yes, sir. It said, and
Okay.
on that day were two beasts parted, a female beast named Leviathan, to dwell in the abyss of the ocean over the fountains of the water. But the male
Right.
is named Behemoth, who
Yeah.
accompanied with his breast a waste wilderness named Dudan on the east of the garden.
Right. And I don't know what people know about Islam, but in Islam they got this beast called dang, I just had it and forgot and lost it. Jabal, whatever. He's a hairy beast that dwells. So that's the same. I'm thinking that's coming from Behemoth, the Jaw. That's his name. They call him in Islam. They call him the Jaw. Yeah. So anyway, yeah. Anybody else got any questions or comments about anything they want to talk about? Okay. Play this right here. Just like I mean, you can't get no closer to Isaiah 60 than this right here.
2050, Africa's population will reach 2.5 billion,
There we go again.
making it the largest workforce on the planet. 1 in every 4 people in the world will be African, and it's not just rising in numbers, but rather in power. Africa is not only home to the fastest growing economies, but it also controls the most valuable resources on Earth. This continent is sitting on a gold mine, not just of gold and oil.
So it only makes sense when David, in the time of David, when Israel was at its peak, Israel was strong. So it's only natural that in the last days, Israel, Africa got to be strong too.
Oil, but of the strategic minerals that fuel modern technology. Lithium, cobalt, rare earth elements. These are not just raw materials. They are the foundation of the AI revolution, electric cars, and military defense systems. Without them, the global economy as we know it would grind to a halt. And for decades, the West has controlled these resources, extracting them cheaply while keeping Africa weak and dependent. But now, that's changing fast. China is investing billions into African infrastructure, securing direct trade and mining agreements that bypass Western corporations. Russia is expanding its military influence, making strategic alliances with African nations that are now rejecting Western control.
So this what goes back to what we were just talking about. This is what China. This is what the U.S. trying to cut off by fumbling with Taiwan to get Africa off of what they're doing to get China off of what they're doing in Africa. Like I said, it's a full-blown war already going on.
Most importantly, African nations themselves are starting to push back. Governments are taking control of their industries, cutting out foreign middlemen, and demanding higher profits from their own natural wealth. This shift isn't just about economics. It's a global power struggle. The West isn't just watching Africa rise. It's afraid of what that means. Because if Africa truly takes control of its resources, the entire balance of global power will shift. For decades, Africa's vast wealth was controlled by Western corporations and multinational banks. These companies came in, extracted resources, and left behind very little for the African people. Rich in oil, gas, minerals, and agricultural land, Africa should have been one of the wealthiest continents on Earth. Instead, it was trapped in a system where most of the profits left the continent, and what remained was a cycle of debt, instability, and foreign dependency. But today, African leaders are waking up to this reality. More and more, governments are renegotiating contracts, demanding better trade deals, and in some cases, nationalizing industries to ensure that African wealth stays in Africa. And this is exactly what the West does not want. At the same time, China and Russia have entered the game, offering Africa an alternative to Western control. China, in particular, has taken a completely different approach to Africa than the US or Europe. Instead of treating Africa as a charity case, China sees it as a business partner. Over the last 2 decades, China has poured over $200 billion into Africa, building highways, railways, ports, and energy infrastructure. Chinese companies are striking direct deals with African nations, cutting out Western corporations that have historically monopolized Africa's natural wealth. And these deals are changing the game. In Ethiopia, China built the first modern electric railway in East Africa. In Nigeria, China is constructing massive tech hubs. In the Democratic Republic of Congo, China has secured exclusive cobalt mining agreements, a mineral essential for electric vehicle batteries and AI chips. The West sees this and realizes it's losing ground. Russia, on the other hand, has taken a different but equally effective strategy. Instead of focusing on economic investments, Russia is forging military alliances. The Wagner Group, a private Russian military force, has built close ties with the governments in Mali, Sudan, and the Central African Republic. These alliances are about more than security. They are about controlling access to Africa's resources. The more military influence Russia gains, the less control the West has. And this is why we are seeing rising tensions between the West and African nations that are breaking away from Western influence. Just look at what happened when Mali and Burkina Faso expelled French and US military forces from their countries. Almost immediately, Western media began calling these governments unstable and dangerous. But is that really the case? Or is the West simply panicking because its grip on Africa is slipping away? The truth is, the US and Europe are losing influence in Africa. They don't know how to stop it. For decades, Western powers controlled Africa through debt, corporate monopolies, and political pressure. But today, African nations are choosing their own path. Many are rejecting Western loans in favor of China's infrastructure investment. Others are cutting off Western corporations and taking full control of their own resources. And more, African nations are aligning with new economic alliances like BRICS, which aims to create a global financial system outside of Western control. If Africa
So it's not new. We're looking at it's just everything we just listened to is biblical. We saw with the Most High. That's why the Lord of Hosts is the Lord of Hosts. He controls everything on the planet. King of Kings. He dictates what happens on the planet to bring about everything that's been prophesied. So he's brought these people here, these bricks, and he brought Russia to Africa and China to Africa. It's the time is up for the West. All of it is in Scripture. He says, "Forces of the Gentiles gonna be converted unto you." So who the Gentiles are? The West. They didn't intermingle with Esau, but they the Gentiles. So we see in Isaiah chapter 60, the forces of the Gentiles gonna be converted unto to Israel. When we're looking at it, like I said, time is short. Any comments or questions?
Shalom. I say hallelujah. I think that it's interesting again, looking at it from afar, how the West is showing their hand and they're scrambling like a child, trying
Right.
to regain or put their foot back on Africa the way that it was. I mean, you could just look at what Trump did with offering South Africa, trying to stroke division between the white South Africans in South Africa against the black South Africans by saying that they're being discriminated against because they finna take that land back without compensation. Well, they didn't pay for it, so why should you be paid? You should benefit from something you stole. And
Exactly.
so they offered them to come to the United States, and they said, no, no, thank you.
Right.
I mean, but that's just the old tricks that they always use to
Right.
try to retain dominance, and it's the watch it not working is
Right.
something.
The Lord of hosts, that's a sign that he back because
Yeah.
he's falling all that. When they used to work, they ain't working no more. So yeah. Anybody else got anything on that? Okay. So I'm gonna go to Jubilees chapter 29, and I'm gonna start reading. Like I said, this is it shines a lot of light on the things that happened with Jacob. Uh, and you can see a lot of the things tied into what's going on today. Okay, it says Jacob flight with his family or his covenant with Laban, right? It came to pass when Rachel had born Joseph that Laban went to shear his sheep, for they were distant from him a 3 days' journey. And Jacob saw that Laban was going to shear his sheep, right? And Jacob called Leah and Rachel and spake kindly unto them that should come with him to the land of Canaan. So, like I was saying before, this getting ready to happen to us. You have to leave, right? It says, and Jacob called Leah and Rachel and spake kindly unto them that they should come with him to the land of Canaan, where he told them how, check it out, he told them how he had seen everything in a dream. Imagine the day you telling somebody you saw something in a dream and expecting them to react to it. Okay, it says, well, he told them how he had seen everything in a dream, even all that he had spoken unto him, that he should return to his father's house. And they said, to every place whither thou goest, we will go with thee. And Jacob blessed the God of Isaac, his father, and the God of Abraham, his father's father. And he arose and mounted his wives and his children, and took all his possessions and crossed the river and came to the land of Gilead. And Jacob hid his intentions from Laban and told him not. And in the 7th year of the 4th week, Jacob turned his face toward Gilead in the 1st month, on the 21st thereof, and Laban pursued after him and overtook Jacob in the mountains of Gilead in the 3rd month, on the 13th thereof. And the Lord did not suffer him to enter Jacob, for he appeared to him in a dream by night. And Laban spake to Jacob. And on the 15th of those days, Jacob made a feast for Laban and for all who came with him. And Jacob swore to Laban that day, and Laban also to Jacob, that neither should cross the mountains of Gilead to the other with evil purpose. And he made there a heap for a witness. Wherefore the name of that place is called the heap of witness after this heap. But before they used to call the land of Gilead the land of the Rephaim, for it was the land of the Rephaim, and the Rephaim was born there. Giants were whose height was 10, 9, and 8 down to 7 cubits. And their inhabitants was from the land of the children of Ammon to Mount Hermon, and the seat of their kingdom were Carmel, right, and Ashtaroth, and Edra, and Masha, and Beyond, and the Lord destroyed them because of the evil of their deeds, for they were very malignant, and the Amorites dwelt in their stead, which is wicked and sinful, and there is no place today which have brought or to the full all their sins, and they have no longer length of life on the earth. And Jacob sent away Laban, and he departed into Mesopotamia and the land of the east. And Jacob returned to the land of Gilead. Okay, so that was chapter 31, right? Then he passed over to Jacob in the 9th month, on the 11th thereof, and on the day Esau his brother came to him, and he was reconciled to him, and he departed from him unto the land of Seir, where Jacob dwelt in tents. And in the first year of the 5th week in the Jubilee, he crossed Jordan and dwelt beyond the Jordan, and he pursued the sheep, and he pastured the sheep from the sea of the heat until Bashan, and unto Dodan, and unto the forest of Akrabim. And he sent to his father Isaac of all the substance, clothing, and food, and meat, and drink, and milk, and butter, and cheese, and some dates of the valley, and to his mother Rebekah also 4 times a year, between the times of the month, between the plowing and the reaping, and between autumn and the rain season, and between winter and spring, to the tower of Abraham. For Isaac had returned from the well of oak and gone up to the tower of his father Abraham, and he dwelt there apart from his son Esau. For in the days when Jacob went to Mesopotamia, Esau took to himself a wife, a Mahalalite, the daughter of Ishmael, and he gathered together all the flocks of his father and his wives, and went up and dwelt on Mount Seir, and left Isaac his father at the well of oak alone. And Isaac went up from the well of oak and dwelt in the tower of Abraham his father on the mountain of Hebron. And thither Jacob sent, okay, all that he had sent to his father and his mother from time to time, and they needed, and they blessed Jacob with all their heart and with all their soul. Okay? And I'm in chapter 30, gain ravished. We read it. I'm not gonna read that. Okay, I'm gonna go to 31. Uh, yeah, Jacob journeyed to Bethel and to Hebron. Isaac blesses Levi and Judah. And on the new moon of the month, Jacob spake to all the people of his house, saying, purify yourselves and change your garments, and let us arise and go up to Bethel, where I vowed a vow to him on the day when I fled from the face of Esau my brother, because he hath been with me and brought me into this land in peace, and put ye away the strange gods that are among you. And they gave up the strange gods and that which was in their ears and which was on their necks, and the idols which Rachel stole from Laban her brother, she gave up wholly to Jacob. And he burnt and brake them in pieces and destroyed them and hid them under an oak which is in the land of Shechem. And he went up on the next moon, the new moon of the 7th month, to Bethel, and he built an altar at the place where he had slept, and he set up a pillar there, and he sent word to his father Isaac to come to him to his sacrifice, and to his mother Rebekah, right? Okay. And Isaac said, let my son Jacob come, and let me see him before I die. And Jacob went up to his father Isaac and to his mother Rebekah to the house of his father Abraham, and he took 2 of his sons with him, Levi and Judah, and he came to his father Isaac and to his mother Rebekah. And Rebekah came forth from the tower to the front of it to kiss Jacob and embrace him, for her spirit had revived when she heard, behold, Jacob thy son hath come. And she kissed him, and she saw his 2 sons, and she recognized them, and said unto him, are these thy sons, my son? And she embraced them, kissed them, and blessed them, saying, in you shall the seed of Abraham become. illustrious, and ye will prove the blessing on the earth. So let's take us back to yesterday. I told you about that word, Ishkabat or whatever says, she who can see. We see it right here. That Rebecca got that ability. Verse 7. And she saw his two sons, and she recognized them, and said unto them, Are are these thy sons, my son? And she embraced them and kissed them and blessed them. Now here you go, prophesying, saying, In you shall the seed of Abraham become illustrious, and ye will prove a blessing on earth. So she prophesying. And that's why it says that uh, Isaiah went to the prophetess. That was his wife. So they can downplay this right here. Anyway, and Jacob went in to Isaac his father to the chamber where he lay, and his two sons were with him. And he took the hand of his father, and stooping down, he kissed him. And Isaac clung to the neck of Jacob his son, and wept upon his neck. And the darkness left the eyes of Isaac, and he saw the two sons of Jacob, Levi and Judah. And he said, Are these thy sons, my son? For they are like thee. And he said unto him that they were truly his sons, and thou hast truly seen that they are truly my sons. And they came near to him, and he turned and blessed them and embraced them both together. And the spirit of the prophecy came down into his mouth, and he took Levi by his right hand and Judah by his left, and he turned to Levi first and began to bless him first, and said unto him, May the God of all, the very Lord of all ages, bless thee and thy children throughout all ages, and may the Lord give to thee and to thy seed greatness and great glory, and come thee and thy seed from among all flesh, and to approach him, to serve him in his sanctuary as the angels of the presence and as the holy ones, even as they will the seed of thy sons be for glory and for greatness and holiness, and may he make them great unto all the ages, and they will be princes and judges and chiefs of all the seed of the sons of Jacob, and they will speak the words of the Lord in righteousness, and they will judge all his judgments in righteousness. Right here, like I was saying, Jacob I love, and Esau I hate. That's why he loved Jacob right here. And they will judge all his judgments in righteousness, and they will declare my ways to Jacob and my paths to Israel. The blessings of the Lord will be given in their mouths, to bless all the seed of the beloved. Thy mother hath called thy name Levi, and just as she called thy name, thou wilt be joined to the Lord, and be the companion of all the sons of Jacob. Let his table be thine, and do thou and thy sons eat together. And may thy table be full unto all generations, and thy food fail not unto all ages. And let all who hate thee fall down before thee. Let all thy adversaries be rooted out and perish. And blessed be the Lord that blesseth thee, and curse to every nation that curses thee. Okay, let's see where we're at. Right, okay. And to Judah he said, May the Lord give thee strength and power to tread down all that hate thee. A prince shalt thou be, thou and one of thy sons over the sons of Jacob. May thy name and the name of thy son go forth and traverse every land and region. Then will the Gentiles fear before thy face, and all the nations will quake, and all the people will quake. In thee shall be the help of Jacob, and in thee be found the salvation of Israel. And when thou sittest on the throne of the honor of thy righteousness, there will be great peace for all seeds of the sons of the beloved. And blessed will be he that blesseth thee, and all that hate thee and afflict thee and curse thee shall be rooted out and destroyed from the earth and accursed. And turning, he kissed them again and embraced them and rejoiced greatly, for he had seen the sons of Jacob, his sons, uh, in very truth. And he went forth between his feet and fell down and worshipped him, and he blessed them. And Jacob rested there with Isaac his father that night, and they ate and drank with joy. And he made the two sons of Jacob sleep, and one of his right hand, and the other at his left. And it was counted to him for righteousness. And Jacob told his father everything during the night, how the Lord had shown him great mercy, and how he had prophesied that prospered him in all his ways and protected him from all evil. And Isaac blessed the God of his father Abraham, who had not withdrawn his mercy and his righteousness from the sons of his servant Isaac. Okay, so that was let me see, okay, I'm gonna stop right there. Anybody have any comments or questions? Any feedback?
No, sir, not this time.
Yeah, I had saw something right here. Let me see if I can go back and recount it. Okay. Yeah, right here it says, uh, this is chapter 31. It says, and to Judah he said, this Isaac blessing Jacob two sons, Judah and Levi. He says, and Judah he said, may the Lord give thee strength and power, and tread down all that hate thee. A prince shalt thou be, thou and one of thy sons over the sons of Jacob. So right here, this same prophecy that talk about David, that Balaam said. He says, uh, not now, I shall see him, but not now. There shall come forth a star out of Jacob, and he shall smite the corners. That was David. The same thing right here. It says, a prince shall thou be. So Judah shall be a prince, though thou, one of thy sons, that's David, shall come out of thee. See that? A prince shall thou be, and thou and one of thy sons over the sons of Jacob. So it's David. So right here, we already see that it wasn't talking about Saul anyway. Like I said, Saul chose, the people chose Saul, but it had already been prophesied by Balaam and right here by Isaac that David was coming. Okay?
Shalom.
Yeah,
I was just going to say that I always appreciate hearing these stories because it broadens the understanding of the events that occurred and the truth within the stories of about what's coming, what has happened, what is happening, and what's to come.
right, right. Yeah, I want to show you something about that because and this is one of the things that you think is minor, but we didn't got away from it, but it's major. So they was in the land of Babylon for 70 years, right? And then they all came back to the land, right? From the land, Ezra came back, and let's get it. So let me show you this. They rebuilt the temple and all that. Then Ezra showed up, right? So here we go. Okay. Get it. start over here. In Ezra sent for the Levites, Ezra chapter 8, verse 15. And I gathered them together to the river by that runneth to Ava, and there abode we in tents. And I viewed the people and the priests, and I found there none of the sons of Levi, right? So we're going to see why they're so important. Then sent I to, or for Eleazar, for Ariel and Shema, and Ethan and Jared, and Ethan and Nathan, and for Zechariah, and for Mushalim, chief men, also for Jared, and for Nathan, men of understanding. So these Levites. And I sent them with commandments unto Edu the chief at the place of capital, and I told them that they should say unto Edu and his brethren that the near them at the place of Casaba, that they should bring unto us ministers for the house of God, right? And by thy good hand of our God upon us, they brought us a man of understanding, the sons of Meli, sons of Levi, son of Israel, son of, okay, keep going. Get on 21. Then I proclaimed a fast there by the river Ava that we might fix ourselves, right? I told you how to they stop eating, they fast and make the spirit come up. They suppress the body, five senses, and they make the spirit come up. That's what afflict means. Ourselves before our God and seek him a right way for us and for our little ones and all our substance. For I was ashamed, okay, to acquire the king a band of soldiers and horsemen to keep us against this enemy in the way, because we have spoken unto the king, saying, the hand of our God is upon all of them for good that seek him, but his power and his wrath is against all them that forsake him. So we fasted and we sought our God for this, and he was entreated of us, right? Okay, now I'm gonna get down here and see this. Okay. So it says in chapter 10, they came back from Israel, right? They came back from Babylon. So now when Ezra had prayed and when he had confessed, weeping and casting himself down before the house of God, there assembled unto him out of Israel a very great congregation of men and women and children, and the people wept very sore. Then here you go, these Levites in action. Shema, the son of Joel, one of the sons of Edom, answered and said unto Ezra, we have transgressed against our God. We have taken strange wives of the people of the land. Yet now there is hope in Israel concerning this thing. Now therefore let us make a covenant with our God to put away all the wives such as are born of them, according to the counsel of my Lord, and those that tremble at the commandments of our God, and let it be done according to the law. Arise, for this matter belongeth unto thee. We also will be with thee. Be of good courage and do it. Then Ezra rose, made the chief priests, the Levites, and all Israel to swear that that they should do according to this word, and they swore. Then Ezra rose up from before the house of God and went into the chamber of Jonathan the son of Elisheba. And when he came thither, he did eat no bread nor drank water, for he mourned because of the transgressions of them that had been carried away. Let me get on down here. Okay, yeah, here you go. It says, and among the sons of the priests there were found that had taken strange wives, namely of the sons of Jeshua, the son of Josadak, and his brethren, and Elisheba and Jared, and they gave their hands that they would put away their wives. That's what I'm looking for. Give me 1 minute, because this is important. Yes, I don't see it. It's hiding from me. But anyway, what happened was when they got back, Ezra stood up, and then all the Levites stood up with him. And then it tells you that they, the Levites, along with Ezra, read from morning all the way to the evening and caused the people to understand. So that's what that is now. We've gotten away from that. You know, he had to read. That was the purpose he had them writing down all these books, was for them to be read in the presence in the before him. And it's every time you do that, it seems like the scriptures just come alive. But we've gotten away from that. I'll find it. I'll read the next on the Shabbat. So everybody good?
Thank you.
Shalom.
Shalom.
I have the verse to read
Okay.
before we go. I'll be reading out of Jeremiah 51, start at verse 60. So Jeremiah wrote in a book all the evil that should come up upon Babylon, even all these words that are written against Babylon. And Jeremiah said to Shariah, when thou comest to Babylon and shalt see and shalt read all these words, then shalt thou say, O Lord, thou hast spoken against this place to cut it off, that none shall remain in it, neither man nor beast, but it shall be desolate forever. And it shall be, when thou hast made an end of reading this book, that thou shalt bind a stone to it and cast it into the midst of Euphrates. And thou shalt say, thus shall Babylon sink, and shall not rise from the evil that I will bring upon her, and they shall be weary. Thus far are words of Jeremiah. Shalom. That was Jeremiah 51, 60 through 64. Um, this this part of it just kind of struck me here, almost like when before Jeremiah wrote this, and the Lord of hosts was telling him what he was going to do to Babylon, because they had started worship those idols and things like that. Reminds me of the Sodom and Gomorrah. Is that in any type you could correlate the two?
Right. It's like I played the video the other day where Elon Musk was saying that uh everything is centered around the black Hebrew Israelites. It goes in cycles. They sin against their God. He casts them out, and then amongst other people, those people afflict them. Then he comes and he judges those people that he sent them amongst and bring the Israelites back out. So that's how you would correlate both of them together. But there's a lot in there when you said Jeremiah sent Sirach, right? Well, that's the same Sirach
Yes, sir.
in the Apocrypha. The book that's in Apocrypha, that's what that is. He sent
Okay.
Sirach with that book to go, like I was saying, when you understand that what they did in the New Testament. So they always talking about Babylon, Mystery Babylon in the New Testament. No, they getting that from what the Most High, what Jeremiah prophesied against Babylon. Ain't no Mystery Babylon. Jeremiah or the Israelites went to, Jeremiah told them before they went. They was going to Babylon for 70 years, right? And then he was going to judge that nation after the 70 years and bring them back. So Jeremiah is in the land of Israel. He sent Sirach to the remnant that's in Babylon, and to the people of Babylon, told them what's going to happen. And he said, after you prophesy to them, take the scroll and bind it and throw it in the midst of the Euphrates. And then we know it came to pass because Cyrus came.
Yes, sir.
So that's what that is. But that's that same Sirach is the Sirach that's in the Apocrypha. Same book, same prophet. Well, he's a scribe to Jeremiah because Zedekiah had Jeremiah in the dungeon, because he got tired of Jeremiah prophesying to him. He didn't want to hear what Jeremiah had to say, so he bound him in the dungeons and in those water cisterns. But yeah, that's the same guy, and a lot of that, it brings those stories alive when you get, when you get the other parts of it that go with it.
Yes, sir.
Right. So yeah. Anybody else got anything else before we close out? Okay. So with that being said, I say shalom. We got our men's advanced Bible study tomorrow night, 7 to 9 Central Time. And women come in through YouTube. Shalom.
Shalom, everyone.
I highly recommend that you get this book and you read it because it's a must that you understand who God head is in the order that's in the Old Testament and Tanakh, because it's not the same as in the New Testament. And when you read this and you get an understanding, then the scriptures open up and then you begin to understand. So I highly recommend that you get this book. It's the Elohim of Israel, and it's a breakdown on the word Elohim and who the God of Israel is and the Godhead.